Hare Krishna. So till now we have seen Krishna has been talking about the various varnas, working and offering the results to the Lord, being detached from the results of the work. So all this basically talks about Karma Yoga, or to be more specific, Nishkama Karma Yoga. So purification through that. But now Krishna is taking us one step ahead or one level up the yoga ladder from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. So now Krishna is going to speak about purification through Jnana Yoga. So till now purification through Karma Yoga section was going on. Now we start with the section of purification through Jnana Yoga. So let's see the first shloka, shloka number 49 in this section. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigataspriha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena digacchati. So here Krishna is saying, Jitatma, one who is self-controlled, and Asakta buddhihi sarvatra, unattached. Vigataspriha, who disregards all material enjoyments. What happens to such a person? Adigacchati, he can obtain by sannyasena, by the practice of renunciation. Naishkarmya siddhim paramam, the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. So a very nice shloka, seemingly complicated one. Krishna is describing the prerequisite that is needed for Jnana Yoga. So what is the prerequisite that is needed for Jnana Yoga? One is he should be free from the doership mentality. He should be unattached. He should be unattached from his results and the work itself. And at the same time, he should be detached from the mood of being the proprietor. So one is he is detached from the results and the work, and second, he is detached or he is free from the mood of I own this, this is mine. So these two are basically the prerequisites of Jnana Yoga, or a person who can start practicing Jnana Yoga. So very, very high level, but then yes, this is the thing that is needed. So now here it is said, real renunciation means that one should always think himself part and parcel of Supreme Lord, and therefore think that he has no right to enjoy the results of his work. Since he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the results of his work must be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord. This is actually Krishna consciousness. So now what is actual renunciation? Giving up the activities, yes, that is one sort of renunciation that is there. Giving up the activity itself after coming to a certain level of transcendence. But then, the renunciation which everyone can follow, what is that? Here it is very nicely given. Understanding that I am part and parcel of Krishna, and understanding that my job description, being the part and parcel of Krishna or being the servant of Krishna, is to serve Krishna. So in this way, when I am thoroughly realized that I am part and parcel of Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna, what will I do? I will engage in Krishna's service. That is proper renunciation. How is this proper renunciation? Let's try to understand this deeper now. The person acting in Krishna consciousness is really a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. By such mentality, one is satisfied because he is actually acting for the Supreme. Thus, he is not attached to anything material. He becomes accustomed to not taking pleasure in anything beyond the transcendental happiness derived from the service of the Lord. So how is he a renunciant when he serves the Lord? Because all the time his meditation is how to give pleasure to the Lord. That is what is his meditation all about. So he takes pleasure in giving pleasure to the Lord. And he is now completely detached from that level, that lower level of seeking pleasure for one's own self. So now there's a huge transformation that has happened. What is that huge transformation? The transformation of seeking pleasure from sense gratification for one's own self to giving pleasure to Krishna by gratifying Krishna's senses. So now all the time the meditation is this, that how can I give pleasure to Krishna? How can I give pleasure to Krishna? So this is on the platform of Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada is actually describing the highest level of devotional service, or the highest level of yoga, to be more specific. That is Bhakti Yoga. So when we work for the pleasure of the Lord, automatically we become distasteful for our own pleasure. Why? Because when we give pleasure to the Lord, we are also getting pleasure. And the pleasure that we get when we give pleasure to the Lord and when we serve the Lord is much, much, much more greater than the pleasure that we derive by doing some sense gratification by senses and sense objects coming together. So this is called as the higher taste. So when we serve the Lord, we get a higher taste and automatically we give up the lower ones. This is called as actual renunciation, where the person is always engaged in service of the Lord. Here it is said, a sannyasi is supposed to be free from the reactions of his past activities. But a person who is in Krishna consciousness automatically attains this perfection without even accepting the so-called order of renunciation. This state of mind is called Yoga Rudha, or the perfectional stage of yoga, as confirmed in 3rd chapter, Yastva Atma Ratir Eva Syat. One who is satisfied in himself has no fear of any kind of reaction from his activity. Now see what happens. The person who is qualified for Jnana Yoga starts practicing Jnana Yoga, comes to a certain level and takes Karma Sannyas. That is, he gives up all the activities, material activities that he is doing. And then when he is giving up the material activities, naturally he will be free, from what? From the reaction, because he is not doing the activity only. Where is the question of reaction? But then this is very impractical for the age of Kali Yuga. How can we give up activities? What will we do giving up? And we are not qualified for Jnana Yoga also. We have the doership mentality, we have the proprietorship mentality, we are attached to results and the work. So here, very, very practical thing Prabhupada is talking about. What is that? He is telling that when we are serving the Lord, so we are not doing any activity for our own self. So when we do activities for our own self, for our sense gratification, what happens? We will be bound in the cycle of karma, that is action and reaction. So when the person starts serving the Lord, when the person starts doing devotional service, he is freed. He is freed from all the reactions, not just the current ones, all the past reactions also. And Lord takes care of that person. This is the beauty of devotional service. In all the other yoga systems, be it Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, the person has to endeavor to become free from reactions. But in Bhakti Yoga, when a person engages himself in service of the Lord, Lord vanquishes all the reactions which are there and He takes care, He gives special protection, He gives special shelter. That is the glory of Bhakti Yoga. And in the age of Kali, this is the only thing that will work. There is no other yoga system that can work. Karma Yoga has its own prerequisite. That is, one should be free from what? From the results. One should be detached from the results. One should be detached from the work. For Jnana Yoga, one should be free from the thought that this belongs to me. So this is the prerequisite for both of this. And same thing for Ashtanga Yoga also. So it's a very important thing to note. For Bhakti Yoga, there is no prerequisite. We might be the most sinful people, but then just by rendering devotional service to the Lord, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, by hearing Krishna Katha, Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, by associating with devotees and doing some services to the Lord practically, doing some preaching activity, accepting only prasad, fasting on Ekadashis and other festival days, which are recommended in the calendar. So when we are doing all these different activities, what is happening? We are actually connected to the Lord. We are under the shelter of the Lord, and Lord will make sure that we are free from all the reactions. So basically, a Bhakti Yogi, a beginner in Bhakti Yogi, gets the same result of that of a person who is on the huge stage, Yoga Rudha stage, perfectional stage, sort of perfectional stage in Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. So this is the glory that is there. So we as Bhakti Yogis, we should be very confident that this path is very, very strong, very powerful, very miraculous. Just by starting this process, a lot of miracles will happen. In this way, if we compare the different yoga systems, then we'll understand that how Bhakti Yoga is simple, practical and doable. So, we as the Bhakti Yogis should do it with full intensity and not take any chance of getting deviated from this wonderful, blissful path of Bhakti Yoga. So, Krishna is continuing this theme of the yoga ladder on the Jnana Yoga platform. So, let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna.